You ever get that sinking feeling after you buy a $100 mini projector that looks sleek in the box, only to discover the image is barely brighter than a phone screen in a dark room? I've seen enough of those regret stories to know that the temptation to go cheap can end up costing you more in disappointment than the few extra bucks you might have spent on something solid. That's why I wanted to see if this XGIMI Horizon 20 Pro actually lives up to the hype, or if it's just another pretty-looking gadget that fades once you pull the plug. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first thing that set this projector apart for me was the claim of RGB triple laser brilliance. In the projector world, laser light sources are supposed to give you a more consistent color volume than the traditional lamp-based units, and the triple laser design is meant to push that even further. When I set it up in a modestly sized living room, the colors felt noticeably richer than what I've seen on budget LED projectors. The reds didn't look washed out, the greens stayed vivid, and the blues held a depth that made a simple movie night feel almost cinematic. That's a practical strength you can see the moment you press play. Now, the Horizon 20 Pro isn't just for movies. XGIMI marketed it heavily toward gamers, touting pro-level gaming features. I actually ran a few fast-paced titles, first-person shooters and racing sims at 1080p to see if the input lag would be a deal-breaker. The delay was low enough that I didn't feel like I was reacting to a ghost image. The gameplay felt smooth enough for casual competition. The projector also supports variable refresh rates, which helps keep the picture stable when the frame rate dips. If you're the type who likes to set up a gaming station in a bedroom or a small den, the Horizon 20 Pro offers a legitimate alternative to a traditional monitor, especially when you want that larger-than-life feel without a full-size TV. One of the hidden trade-offs you'll notice is the long-throw design. XGIMI has tuned the optics for longer distances, which means the projector can sit a few meters away from the screen and still fill a 100-inch diagonal without stretching the image. In my house, that meant I could place it on a bookshelf across the room, keeping the floor space clear. However, that also means you need a bit more room to get the sweet spot. If you live in a studio apartment where the wall is only a meter or two away, you'll either have to mount it higher or accept a smaller image. The tailored for XGIMI long-throw projectors claim as a strength in spacious setups but a weakness if you're cramped. Brightness is another practical factor that often gets glossed over in marketing copy. The Horizon 20 Pro advertises enhanced projection brightness, and in a dimly lit room it performed just as advertised, bright enough to compete with ambient light from a couple of floor lamps. I tried it with the lights on at about 150 lux, and the image still held its contrast without looking washed out. That said, if you plan to use it in a fully lit living room during the day, you'll need to pull the curtains or accept a dimmer picture. It's not a daylight room projector, but for typical evening use it's plenty bright. Who should actually consider buying this? First, anyone who already knows they want a laser-based projector and is willing to spend a bit more for color fidelity and low maintenance will find the Horizon 20 Pro a solid choice. Home theater enthusiasts who have a dedicated media room or at least a decent wall space can take full advantage of the long-throw lens and the vivid RGB output. Gamers who want a larger field of view without sacrificing responsiveness will appreciate the low input lag and variable refresh support. Also, families that need a versatile device, movies on weekends, games on weekdays, occasional presentations for remote work will benefit from the all-in-one nature of the unit. On the flip side, if you're a budget-conscious buyer looking to replace a TV with a projector in a small apartment, you might be better off with a more compact short-throw model that can sit inches from the wall. The Horizon 20 Pro's size and need for a clear throw distance could become a hassle. Likewise, if you need a projector that can be used in a bright office environment for presentations, the brightness, while decent for home use, may fall short of what a dedicated business projector can deliver. Finally, if you're a pure audiophile who cares more about sound than picture, you'll need an external speaker system. The built-in speakers are adequate for casual watching but won't satisfy a high-fidelity setup. There are a few practical weaknesses worth mentioning. The remote control feels a bit generic, lacking dedicated shortcuts for the gaming modes, which means you have to dig through menus more often than you'd like. The fan noise, while not deafening, becomes noticeable when you're watching a quiet drama at low volume. It's a trade-off of many laser projectors because the